That's it.
Hold on now, I just go and make sure. Yeah, we're recording. How are you? Good morning, John Darcy from Stradbally.
Good morning, Debbie. How are you?
I'm very good. Thanks very much. I'm delighted to be talking to you today because you're just such a, I don't know what you are, a colourful page in my book, let's just say, might be a good way to describe you. And I'll do a quick intro because it's good for people just to know. So you got involved in the charity many years ago when you ran a fundraiser for us. And I am not sure how you came across us because first of all, you're such a finicky bastard about charities. Excuse my absolute French. And you're so, the way you look at things, you actually look at things through a different lens altogether, in that you're so analytical about charities, you're so critical about stuff in general, that I'm amazed we ever made it. I'm amazed we made it through your grades of perfection.
Through my compliance checklist.
Exactly. I am amazed we ever did. And I'm also amazed that you and I have lasted this long without killing each other, because some of the things you say are so un-PC that at times I can't even respond when I read and listen to you at times. But anyway, I love you dearly. And so it's enough about me blathering on here. So tell me, so you're from Stradbally, which is the most beautiful little village in Cork. And you bought a beautiful house. You can tell me about your house. You bought the most beautiful house. You're in finance anyway, you're in banking, and you're a clever clogs. You're one of those clever clog people. And you bought the most magnificent house a couple of years ago and renovated it. Go on, tell me about the house and tell me all your bits. I can see your beautiful curtains already and your gorgeous mirror. Go on, tell me about the house.
Yeah, so I bought an old village house. It's about 200 years old. It was kind of basically a wreck. It was kind of used for a rental for like 30 odd years. So Stradbally is about 12 kilometres east of Dungarvan, I think it is. Dungarvan, County Waterford. And I bought the house with the intention of initially of living there. But then things changed and I actually ended up moving back to Dublin. So we actually ended up doing Airbnb with it. So we all know Waterford has the old railway, which is now turned into a greenway. So it's 42 kilometres of off-road cycle path. And that has opened up the whole county to a whole new section of tours. Like Waterford, I just drove from Tramore to Stradbally there this morning. I went to get groceries. It's the most wonderful county, especially along that stretch of coastline, because you're on the Copper Coast, and it's like being over in Connemara, but it's less well known, really.
Yes, it really is. That's what I have to say. Your house is my dream home, John. I would love. It's like a chocolate box house with the door in the middle, and it's that huge garden at the back, and it's the windows either side of the door, and it's actually my dream home you've bought.
It's a very picturesque house, given that it's period, and many people would say now the house was in rag order when I bought it. Like, it was freezing cold, the windows were falling out of it. But now it's completely it's basically like a new house. The only thing that's left is the 3-foot walls. And actually, there lately I stopped and I thought, I was standing outside the house and I was like, this house is actually surviving a famine and 2 world wars, and now we're going through COVID. So it has so much history in it, and it would have been originally a teeny tiny house, a 2 up, 2 down. So I would imagine it was owned by someone that would have been working on the local estate. So it has so much history in it. And there last year, a family booked in off chance to go and visit their relatives. They were Australians, I think. No, Americans, my apologies. And they ended up, their family left this house around the time of the famine to go to America because they literally had nothing. Like, that was surreal, because I just see it as a house that I bought. And
I know, you don't think of the history.
No, but then when you look at it, it has so much history. And even like my father's family have been living here about 40, 50 years, I suppose now. And like, even at that time, I'd say it has went through so many hands, because it was always owned by investors, for want of a better word.
Yeah.
But I suppose,
I have to say, you have done it up meticulously. Like, your attention to detail is absolutely off the scale. And if you send me another photograph of a cup or a saucer, I'm actually going to throw my phone against the wall, because I think I've seen every single thing you've bought. But actually, you have done it. It's like, it really is a dream home. And I won't say who the celebrities were, but I know you've had celebrities staying in the house. And they wrote a wonderful reply afterwards. So it is on Airbnb anyway, and it's obviously.
Yeah, so we do Airbnb, and I suppose now with the current epidemic, now I'm lucky, as you said, I have a job in finance. But with the current epidemic, I was running at maybe this month I would be running at near 80% occupancy, and I'm at 0% occupancy at the moment. And
that will change, John, because people in Ireland are all going to be staying at home. So I do think when we get out of the lockdown, people will start thinking about where they're going to go on their holidays, and it won't be Spain and Portugal. So
absolutely.
The money, we have to spend our money in Ireland anyway, the few quid that we have. So
that's 100% it. Any money that people have left over, they have to make the conscious effort to actually look at the label and make sure that it's made in Ireland.
I agree.
I'm from rural County Waterford. My father in particular is self-employed, so I can see the real need to actually spend money locally in the area you come from. So instead of going to Tesco's for your groceries, you go to, like in Clontarf, you have Nolan's. Here in Dungarvan, we have a great shop called the Country Store, owned by Conor Lang. Like, we have all these really good producers, like, and the best vegetables, the best cooking in the world, in my opinion. Like, I was in New York last year. I hated every minute of the food experience of it. I thought it was muck. Like, we have the best dairy. We have so many good things. Yeah. And in particular, in this part of the world, we're so lucky to have so many great. I went to a small bakery this morning, and they're still trying to keep going to serve their core customers. That's the thing that I'm trying to focus on now, is in spend money as much as possible in indigenous businesses.
Yeah, no, we're lucky, I have to say, because even we have Super Values either side of us here, and they make a huge effort to use Irish farms, Irish vegetables, Irish cheeses. So, I mean, we definitely do need to support that. Can I ask you, John, I'm going to throw you back now just to your story. We know you did tragedy in your family some time ago with your beautiful sister Mairead. But if I could put the silver lining that there obviously isn't for your family, but the lovely story that came out of that. And of course, our deepest sympathy for your family with Mairead, because I know it was such a tragic accident. But tell me the lovely story that came out of the whole thing at the same time, because it was just such a warm thing to happen at a time when you were also brokenhearted. So just to fill me in on Gertie.
Okay, yeah. So we have this black Labrador. Actually, we got her from Mark and Em in Kilmackie, where we did my first fundraiser for you and the charity,
which is gorgeous.
And in County Wexford. But we got Gertie into her. Gertie was it was basically another child in our family. We've always had a dog. So every morning my father would go out and bring the dog for a walk down the field, or he'd probably drive the Jeep and the dog would follow. And the dog didn't come back. But country folk, or as you like to call me, culture, we don't take any notice of the dog and it'll come back, because it'll come back after a while, and there's no sheep in the immediate vicinity, so we're not threatening any livestock. So Daddy came home and it was all fine, and next thing the dog didn't come back. So that evening my mom rang me, she said Gertie's missing. So I was full sure once she hear my car coming down the road she'd come back. I was so sure of it, because every other time she did, but it didn't happen this time. So it ended up like a massive job to try and find the dog, and we thought she was actually being stolen. There was so many theories floating around, and there's people seeing the dog from Donegal to rural West Cork, and I think about near 1 million people viewed this story on Facebook.
It went viral, the fact that Gertie was missing.
And and the thing is, my mum's friend, my father's name is Ray Darcy, and my mum's friend wrote a letter to him and said he was on your show in the past as my dad, and would you interview now, given the tragic circumstances, the family are distraught. And fair play to him, he did say absolutely. So we put out this mass appeal, and next thing, I think it was one of my friends said to me, John, why don't you put it out? Actually, no, it was on your comments, I leave it in the village. She said, John, why don't you put a call out for a drone? So I put it out. I didn't think anything of it.
For a drone?
A drone. Because my family home is very close to the cliffs. Our house is basically on the cliff, right? And she was like, she could be down the cliff. And I was like, I've already got people to look on the cliffs. And so I went with it, and I was like, perfect, Anya, we'll get that sorted. So I put a thing up on Facebook. Raymond, actually, my brother, kept it on to me. And next thing, 4 people straight away said, yeah, absolutely, we're there. But in the intervening period, one of the Coast Guard guys came along. I was walking along the cliffs, and it's very fragmented because it's all broken due to erosion. And he just heard something, and it was Gertie on a tiny little rock. Now, I mean, or perch out of the cliff. It should have been gone long ago because and it's so rough. But that weekend was really bad weather, like you've no idea. And she went off and she sat on that perch. She was just lucky there was a tiny bit of water. So then this massive operation came along. So my mum rang me.
At the bottom of the cliffs, John, she had fallen down.
About 40, 50 foot. It's phenomenal. So my mum rang me. I was working in Dublin at the time. And my mum rang me. She said, John, we think we found Gertie. She said, I'll bring you back in 5 minutes. And the only analogy I can use, to be honest, is, but the opposite. It was happiness instead of sadness. It was the time that Veronica Gearan was found dead and the whole independent office went silent for a second. That's how silent it went, because I put my phone on loudspeaker. And next thing, the whole office went from, dead silence, you could have heard a pin drop, to this mass happiness. I remember driving down that evening, like literally every speed limit from City West, from Fidelity City West to our house in Ballyvooney, just outside Stradbally Village. I just drove. I got home in record time, I'd say. When I got home, it was like a party, and it was bittersweet because, like, my sister Mairead, if she was there, she would have been in the thick of it. Like,
Yes.
She would have been the one on the Facebook. She would have been all over it.
Yeah.
But after that, then Damien Tiernan, who was the Southeast correspondent for RT, he came on board and he wanted to carry the story. So it was just so much positivity. And it actually lifted the whole country, because I think nearly every journalist, I was like a mini journalist myself. As you know, I love talking. Yeah. And so I was on the phone nonstop. Literally, the Times, the Independent, the Examiner, they were all there. They were all ringing me. In the end, I was getting snappy with them because I was fed up of answering the calls.
I remember seeing a photograph. I'm not sure, was it on the telly on something, and it was the cliff face and the ocean at the bottom of it, and this tiny black dot, tiny dot that some drone had picked up, and it was Gertie. Like, the fact that you rescued her, it was a fantastic thing for your family at the time because of the timing. With
absolutely.
It was so fabulous. And I will also, the other thing I want to say to you is it's not all about you. I want to thank, while I have you on, the women behind the man, because I know you do the fundraisers and you pull it all together, and with, like, project management that's off the scale. But your mammy and Mina and all her friends that make the sandwiches, do the cooking on the day. The last event you had in Stradbally, hundreds and hundreds. I mean,
we had about 1,000 people.
And I don't think we were expecting those numbers at all.
No, like, the funny thing is, usually, like, you thought I was putting together like a little tea fair in the middle of the village green.
I genuinely did, yeah.
Yeah, like, I knew you did, and Try was texting literally non-stop. Actually, I found a Facebook post last year, flashed up, and it was you copied a text message of me screaming at someone, and it was insane. It was 52 people.
Oh my God, I'll never forget it. The cars everywhere, the traffic, the jams.
The only good thing is, as you know, I haven't a clue about GA. I couldn't give a damn about it. But we're a real GA, like, little village or whatever.
Yeah.
And Waterford as a county is as well, which I wouldn't have a clue. But the only good thing was there was some sort of a GA match on for County Waterford, and it lashed rain. If we didn't have lashing rain, I drove up my brother-in-law and I drove up onto the road from the estate. Like, we're 2 kilometres in off the road, as you know, where we held the event. And I remember going up and I literally nearly had a breakdown. I had to get my father to go and get another bus. I remember then, like, Kathy Maitland that worked on the estate, she came along and she thought we weren't collecting the money right. So then there was this massive, like, breakdown, because I had literally put in a year of planning this, because it was exact precision. Given wherever we're doing it, the people that were involved, everything has to be perfect, and we didn't want any drama. And, like, it was such a good event because it was so organic. The last week was so organic, given the weather. I remember that morning going into a store, and when you were standing outside, I remember all the cakes that were there. I thought we were going to be giving these to you, because you were, I think, going to a women's refuge that evening. So we gave you loads of food going back and all that kind of stuff. But we still, literally, we were very short on food from like, and we literally had a full storehouse of food.
But I never saw anything like the work the women did that day. I mean, it was breaking work. I mean, they were stood at sinks, like from 12 hours, they were standing at sinks, washing, cleaning, getting more cups out. Anyway, I just wanted to say that because much as it's all about you, I want to say to the women that are behind you, they really are, they are something else.
No, but like, but I suppose given like, you know, we're from a small village and, you know, I suppose I've had an interesting upbringing, whatever. You know, that's what many rural places, but Stradbally is unique. You know, we adapt to the situation. You know, like even at the moment, pubs are closed, which is a big thing for our village because, you know, it's the core of the community. There's still a shop in the village, but the pub is the thing that keeps like the more elderly people having a social life.
Social, exactly.
It's literally, it is a lifeline. It's like, you know, the pub opposite us, it literally provides a social service. That's how I feel about it, you know. And like, it's so quaint. Like what I see now, the other pub just a little bit further down the street, they're adapting. They're opening up. I would assume they're renting the property off the owner. But there's two people are opening up like a pizzeria come like small takeaway service.
Okay.
I'm just delighted about this because that's one of the things that I get as a criticism in my book. Now I provide a bespoke service. I have a Ballymaloe chef come to the house. So if you have a party come, I have a Ballymaloe chef.
Dinner.
Helena Connolly, and she comes and we bring out the best crockery and it's beautiful. But like if someone just wants a normal everyday supper, if you're staying here for a week, you're not going to be eating like a king for a week. This is
well. Listen, just while because if this goes on too long, I can't post it because I can never get anything on Instagram. It's hard. I know you're an unbelievable foodie. Like you're a snob. You're condescending about restaurants. You are such a snob about restaurants. You're a nightmare actually about food when I'm sitting having dinner with you anywhere. Your best meal in Ireland, bar my house, of course.
Oh, of course, when you open the restaurant and you get the blue, we're not interested in Michelin star.
Exactly.
It's the blue badge.
Michelin star so last year, I'm telling you.
Yeah, out the window. It's all about the blue plate. Blue plate, that's all I want.
Because I know you literally go from one restaurant to the other, like the real dear places that some of us would never get to. What's your favorite? Where's your favorite table to sit at? This is not a plug for anybody. This is just me asking you.
Yeah. That's a really, really difficult one because, you know, it depends on what you're looking for. I suppose, for me, my favourite restaurant probably in Ireland is not the White Horse, which is in Ardmore as well, or not the Cliff House, sorry, in Ardmore. It's actually the White Horse, owned by three gorgeous ladies, three sisters. Okay. And they turned an old shop into this really good seafood restaurant, really good steaks. It's top dollar. It's not fancy, you're not getting Art Nouveau cooking, but it is top dollar in terms of quality and all local.
That's what we all need. We need ordinary, good, gorgeous local food. You don't need your mad, you know, Michelin.
No, this isn't like, you know, the greasy spoon, but it doesn't have the notions, for want of a better word.
Yes, yeah.
That the Cliff House has its place. The Cliff House is gorgeous.
It is gorgeous, and the views from the rooms, John. I mean, every room faces the ocean. It's gorgeous.
No, the Cliff House is off the scale in terms the location, best location in Ireland. I don't care what anyone says. It is the best location. But if you want like the potatoes in their jackets, if you want like proper amounts of vegetables, if they see like a 6'6" guy like me coming in,
they'll give you a big plate.
They'll give me a big proper plate as opposed to me have to go down to the local shipper to get more food on the way home, you know?
Okay, well that's good to know, because to be honest with you, I've never heard of it, so it's good to know because we're all going to be looking for places to go in Ireland.
02494 is their number. It's amazing. Oh, off the scale.
Like, and booking, you get 10%.
No, it's not about that. We need
no, I know it's not. No, that's very fair because if they're doing that kind of business, it's very fair to mention them. So listen to me. I just want to say thank you for everything you've done for us and our children. You're brilliant, and really the trouble you went to even come to England when I was talking at TED and all that. I was so impressed. And to your family you have notions yourself, I have to say, but your family couldn't be more salt of the earth and the nicest people anybody could ever meet. So hello to your mum and dad, and say hi to everybody down there, and my regards to Mina.
Okay, see you soon, Danny.
Okay, John. Bye.
Good luck, good luck, good luck,
See
good
you
luck,
in
good
your
luck.
book.
Bye, bye, bye.